Hello, I'm Andrew Jeffrey, and I'd like to invite you to the pursuit of philosophy. What do we mean by philosophy? The word philosophy comes from two Greek roots, philo, for love, and sophia, for wisdom. So, philosophers in ancient Greece would literally have been lovers of wisdom. They were pursuers of all kind of knowledge, but as the discipline evolved, especially knowledge concerning moral values and what their grounds were. Right. Now, to distinguish philosophy from other forms of wisdom literature, I'd like to tell you a story. Roughly 27 centuries or so ago, the world was changing, and this was true in both the Mediterranean world, Southern Asia, and the Far East. There was a period of rapid urbanization and increase in trade, and people who had formerly been in small, isolated communities were thrown together behind the walls of new and growing cities, creating some of the first pluralistic or multicultural societies, whether or not any degree of multiculturalism was acknowledged. Now, if you live in small, isolated communities, most of the information that you get is passed down from generation to generation in a pattern of what could be called vertical transmission. If you want to know why people do what they do and how things all got started and where is everything going, you can go to your elders in the community and ask, what is the story? And they will tell you a story, a myth, a narrative in which you can locate yourself and understand what your role in life is. It's like being given a script and finding out you're a supporting actor in a play. But when people are thrown together into multicultural societies, you discover that your neighbors down the street were told a different story, a different myth about the world than the one you were told, maybe given different laws and rules to follow than the ones that you were given, and different explanations for why those rules should be followed. And so a new question arises. If people don't have any competing stories, they tend to be kind of gullible. We're almost hardwired to accept the first thing that we're told if we don't have a background reason for questioning it. But when you have an environment with competing stories, now you have to ask, which story is the right story and why should I believe it rather than the others? And so people begin to search for standards with which they could adjudicate between the competing stories. And another word for standard is criterion. And so they were looking for criteria to adjudicate between various claims to authority. It is from the search for criteria that we get the phrase critical, as in critical thinking or critical reasoning. And philosophy is wisdom literature that tries to search for and then apply standards of thinking and reviewing for adjudicating between claims to the truth. Right? So it's not simply a package of old wisdom to receive and absorb. Philosophy is a dynamic activity, an inquiry into what counts as evidence, what evidence people have for what they say and what they value.